The cheetah is the fastest animal on earth, 70 miles per hour. Nothing on land comes close. But that speed, it might be the worst thing that ever happened to it. After every chase, a cheetah is so tired it can't even protect its own food. Lions walk up and take it. Hyenas steal it. Vultures chase them away. The fastest animal alive can't even keep its own meal. And here's the strange part. They almost never hit top speed when hunting. So if speed isn't their real weapon, what is? There's something cheetahs have been doing for 3 million years that kept them alive, while bigger, stronger animals disappeared. Nobody noticed. Because everyone was too busy watching how fast they run. Today only 7,000 are left. And the thing that could save them is one thing we keep ignoring. Let's start with what speed actually caused the cheetah. Because everyone celebrates 70 miles per hour, nobody talks about what happens after. When a cheetah hits top speed, its body enters a controlled crisis. Its heart rate spikes to 250 beats per minute. Its body temperature rockets to 105 degrees Fahrenheit, just 2 degrees below brain damage. Its muscles flood with lactic acid. Its lungs are burning. A single sprint, lasting maybe 20 to 60 seconds, pushes the cheetah to the edge of organ failure, and then it stops. Not because it wants to, because it has to. The cheetah physically cannot continue. It collapses, it pants, for 15 to 30 minutes. It lies there completely helpless. It can't run, it can't fight. It can barely stand. And every predator in the area knows it. Lions see the dust cloud from the chase. They walk over. The cheetah watches. It can't do anything. It leaves its kill and walks away. Hyenas hear the commotion. They arrive in packs. The cheetah doesn't even try to fight. One bite from a hyena could break a cheetah's leg. And a cheetah with a broken leg is dead within days. Even vultures, birds, landing on the kill before the cheetah has finished eating. And the cheetah backs off because it can't risk any injury. None. In the Serengeti, cheetahs lose up to 14% of their kills to other predators. In areas with high lion and hyena populations, that number jumps to over 50%. Half their meals stolen. This is the trade-off evolution made. To become the fastest land animal, the cheetah sacrificed everything else. It has no bulk to fight, no strength to defend, no endurance to sustain. It's built entirely for one thing, a 60-second burst of speed. And after that burst, it's the most vulnerable predator in Africa. The cheetah doesn't just lose food, it loses energy. Calories it desperately needs are gone, so it has to hunt again, which means another sprint, another near-death experience, another 30 minutes of vulnerability. Speed isn't a gift, it's a tax, and the cheetah pays it every single day. But here's what doesn't make sense. If speed costs this much, why do cheetahs almost never actually use it? Studies show their average hunting speed is only 33 miles per hour, less than half their maximum. So if they're not using their speed, what are they actually doing? So if speed costs this much, near organ failure, stolen food, total vulnerability, why do cheetahs have it? And why don't they even use it? Because in 2013, a study changed everything we thought we knew about cheetahs. The Royal Veterinary College in London fitted GPS and accelerometer collars to wild cheetahs in Botswana. Not zoo cheetahs, not controlled environment, wild cheetahs making real kills. And the data was shocking. The average hunting speed was 33 miles per hour, not 70, not 60, 33. Less than half their maximum. Most hunts never exceeded 40 miles per hour. Read that bottom bar again. The Thompson's gazelle, the cheetah's primary prey, can run 50 miles per hour. If hunting were purely a speed contest, the gazelle would escape most of the time. So why does the cheetah catch it 40 to 58% of the time? That's a higher success rate than lions, leopards, or wild dogs. The answer isn't speed, it's agility. The same study found something extraordinary. Cheetahs decelerate 4 times faster than they accelerate. They can slam from 40 miles per hour to nearly zero in a single stride. And their lateral acceleration, the ability to turn sharply at speed, is the highest of any land animal. 4 times the grip and turning force of a greyhound. The highest muscle power per kilogram of body weight of any land predator. Here's what a real cheetah hunt looks like. The cheetah doesn't chase in a straight line. It stalks first, getting within 60 to 70 meters of its prey before sprinting. The prey bolts, it zigzags, it changes direction desperately. And this is where the cheetah wins. Every time the gazelle turns, it loses speed. The cheetah matches the turn, faster. The gazelle turns again, the cheetah matches again, closer now. Turn by turn, the gap shrinks. Not because the cheetah is faster in a straight line, because it turns better. And the cheetah's body proves this. Semi-retractable claws that grip the ground like running spikes. An oversized lever for rapid energy conversion. A spine so flexible it curls and uncurls like a spring, adding an extra meter to every stride while enabling sharp direction changes. None of these adaptations are about straight line speed. They are about control at speed, precision, agility. For decades, we call the cheetah the fastest animal on earth. That's true, but it's like calling a Formula 1 car fast. F1 cars don't win races because of top speed. They win because of cornering, braking, acceleration out of turns. The cheetah is the same. Speed is the headline, agility is the weapon. But agility alone doesn't explain how cheetahs have survived for 3 million years while bigger, stronger predators went extinct. They have been doing something else, something nobody paid attention to, that kept them alive when everything else disappeared. So the cheetah has agility. It has speed it rarely uses. It has a body engineered for turning at 40 miles per hour. But none of that explains how it survived for 3 million years, while saber-toothed cats, cave lions, and giant hyenas all went extinct. Those animals were bigger, stronger, more dominant. They're all gone. The cheetah is still here. Why? Because cheetahs do something no other big cat does. Something that's been hiding in plain sight for decades. Researchers knew about it but dismissed it as a quirk. It's not a quirk. It's the reason cheetahs are alive. Male cheetahs form coalitions. That might not sound revolutionary, but in the world of big cats, it's unheard of. Lions live in prides, but that's family groups with a clear hierarchy. Leopards are completely solitary. Tigers are solitary. Jaguars are solitary. Every other big cat operates alone or in rigid family structures. Male cheetahs do something different. Brothers, sometimes 2, sometimes 3, stay together after leaving their mother. They hunt together, they defend territory together. They share food, they protect each other. And sometimes, an unrelated male joins them. A stranger, accepted into the coalition, working together despite sharing no bloodline. And the results are staggering. Coalition males have a hunting success rate up to 30% higher than solo males. They can take down wild beasts and zebra, prey that a solo cheetah could never attempt. They hold territories. They defend kills more effectively. And most importantly, coalition males live significantly longer than solitary males. But it's not just the males. Female cheetahs evolved their own survival genius. Females are solitary, except when raising cubs. And their strategy is entirely about avoidance. They don't compete with lions and hyenas, they move around them. A female cheetah's territory can span up to 1,500 square kilometers. Enormous. Not because she needs that much space to hunt, but because she needs that much space to avoid predators. She hunts at midday, the hottest part of the day, when lions are sleeping and hyenas are resting. She moves her cubs to a new hiding spot every 2 to 4 days. Never the same place twice. Never a pattern that predators could learn. And even with all of that, 90 to 95% of cheetah cubs die before reaching adulthood. Most are killed by lions, not for food. Lions don't eat cheetah cubs. They kill them to eliminate future competition. This is the 3 million year secret. Not speed, not even agility. Adaptation. Male coalitions that break every rule of the big cat behavior. Female avoidance strategies that treat the entire savannah like a chessboard. Midday hunting that turns the biggest disadvantage, heat, into a tactical window. While bigger predators relied on strength and dominance, the cheetah adapted around them. It didn't try to be the strongest. It found every gap, every window, every overlooked advantage, and it worked. For 3 million years, it worked. Until now. Because the cheetah is facing something it can't adapt around. Something hidden in its own DNA. And it's been ticking like a time bomb for 10,000 years. For 3 million years, the cheetah adapted to everything. Lions, hyenas, habitat changes, ice ages. It found every gap and survived. But roughly 10,000 years ago, something happened that the cheetah couldn't outrun, couldn't outturn, and couldn't adapt around. Its own DNA nearly killed it. Today, there are approximately 7,000 cheetahs left in the wild, down from an estimated 100,000 in 1900. That alone is devastating. But the real crisis isn't the number. It's what's inside every single one of them. Around 10,000 years ago, at the end of the last ice age, cheetah populations crashed. We don't know exactly why. Climate change, habitat collapse, competition with other predators, possibly all three. What we do know is that the global cheetah population dropped to fewer than 500 individuals, maybe fewer. Some estimates suggest as low as 15. The entire species nearly went extinct. The survivors bred with each other, generation after generation. With such a tiny gene pool, genetic diversity collapsed, and it never recovered. This is called a genetic bottleneck, and the cheetah's bottleneck is one of the most severe of any living species on Earth. Here's how genetically identical modern cheetahs are. You can take skin from one cheetah and graft it onto a completely unrelated cheetah, and the body won't reject it. No immune response, no rejection. The immune systems can't tell the difference because genetically, there's almost no difference. In any other species, this will cause immediate rejection. In cheetahs, it works because they are near genetic clones of each other, and the consequences are devastating. 70 to 80% of cheetah sperm is abnormal, malformed, non-functional. Compare that to domestic cats, where about 30% is abnormal. The cheetah's reproductive system is failing from the inside. Cub mortality in captivity is even higher than in the wild. Not because of predators, but because of genetic defects, weak immune systems, susceptibility to diseases that other cats shrug off. And here's the nightmare scenario. Because every cheetah's immune system is nearly identical, a single disease could theoretically wipe out the entire species. One virus, one outbreak, all 7,000. It nearly happened in the 1980s when feline infectious peritonitis swept through a captive cheetah population in Oregon. The mortality rate was over 60%. In domestic cats, FIP kills roughly 5%. Same virus, same conditions. But because cheetahs lack genetic diversity, their immune systems couldn't produce varied responses. They all failed it the same way. 7,000 cheetahs left. But the number hides the real danger. Every one of those 7,000 is running on the same compromised DNA, the same fragile immune system, the same reproductive failures. The cheetah didn't just lose numbers. It lost the genetic diversity that keeps a species alive. And it's been running on borrowed time for 10,000 years. So the question becomes, can we fix this? Is there actually a way to save an animal whose biggest threat is written in its own cells? The answer is yes. But it's not what most people think. And almost nobody is talking about it. So the cheetah is running on compromised DNA. 70 to 80% abnormal sperm. Near identical immune systems. One disease away from extinction. Can we actually fix this? Yes. But here's the problem. Almost nobody is finding the right solution. When most people think about saving cheetahs, they think about the obvious things. Stop poaching, protect habitats, breed them in zoos. And yes, those matter, but they are not enough. because you can protect every cheetah on earth and still lose the species. The threat isn't just external, it's internal, it's genetic. And the thing that could actually save them, genetic rescue. Genetic rescue isn't cloning, it isn't genetic engineering, it's simpler than that. It means strategically breeding the most genetically diverse individuals. The rare cheetahs whose DNA is slightly different from the rest, finding them, protecting them, making sure their genes spread through the population. Because even in a population this genetically uniform, there are outliers. Individuals with slightly stronger immune markers, slightly better reproductive health, slightly more variation in their DNA. Those individuals are the most valuable cheetahs on earth, and we are not prioritizing them. Here's where the money goes. Habitat protection gets the most funding, anti-poaching gets significant resources, captive breeding programs get attention and donations, but genetic mapping, population genetics research, identifying and protecting genetically diverse individuals, almost nothing. A 2019 study estimated that less than 4% of cheetah conservation funding goes toward genetic research. 4%. For a species whose primary existential threat is genetic. But there are people doing the right thing, and the results are extraordinary. The Cheetah Conservation Fund in Namibia developed a program that doesn't involve genetics at all, but solves one of the cheetah's biggest practical problems. They give livestock guiding to dog farmers. Anatolian shepherd dogs, placed with livestock herds. The dogs protect the livestock. Farmers stop killing cheetahs. The results? An 80 to 100% reduction in cheetah killings by farmers. Simple, cheap, effective. The kind of solution nobody puts on a poster. And then there's corridor conservation. Cheetahs need enormous ranges. Females cover up to 1,500 square kilometers. When habitats are fragmented by farms, roads, and developments, populations become isolated. Isolated populations can't share genes. The genetic bottleneck gets worse. Each fragment becomes its own genetic dead end. Wildlife corridors, protected strips of land connecting fragmented habitats, allow cheetahs to move between populations. New genes flow. Genetic diversity slowly increases. The time bomb slows down. But corridors require cooperation between governments, farmers, and conservation groups across entire countries. They are expensive, they are politically complicated, and they don't make for exciting fundraising campaigns. So what's being ignored? The boring stuff. Genetic mapping, breeding strategy, wildlife corridors, livestock dogs. Not dramatic rescues, not viral campaigns, not zoo breeding programs that produce genetically identical cubs. The thing that could save the cheetah isn't exciting. It's not photogenic. It doesn't trend on social media, but it works. And time is running out. Because while we fund the wrong things and ignore the right ones, the cheetah is approaching a point it can't come back from. So here's where we are. Let's put it all together. The cheetah is the fastest animal on earth. Everyone knows that. But that's the least interesting thing about it. It's an animal that sprints at 70 miles per hour but hunts at 33. An animal that wins chases not by outrunning prey but by outturning it. Decelerating 4 times faster than it accelerates. Cornering with more force per kilogram than any land predator alive. It's an animal that pays for every sprint with 30 minutes of total vulnerability. That loses half its meals to animals that are slower but stronger. That can't fight back because a single injury means death. And despite all of that, it survived for 3 million years. Not because it was the fastest, not because it was the strongest, because it was the smartest. Male coalitions that broke every rule of big cat behavior. Females who turned the entire savannah into a chessboard. Hunting in the heat. Moving cubs every 2 days. Covering 1,500 square kilometers to avoid predators. An animal that didn't compete with lions and hyenas. It found every gap they left open and built a life inside it. But now, it's running out of time. 7,000 left. Down from 100,000 in a single century. Every one of them carrying the same compromised DNA from a bottleneck 10,000 years ago. 70 to 80% abnormal sperm. immune systems so identical that one disease could end everything. And the Asiatic cheetah, roughly 50 left in all of Iran. The entire subspecies could disappear within a decade. And here's what people don't understand about extinction. When the cheetah goes, we don't just lose an animal, we lose 3 million years of evolutionary innovation. The semi-retractable claws that grip like running spikes, the flexible spine that acts like a spring, the 3-layer camouflage detection visual system, the coalition behavior that exists nowhere else in the cat family. None of that can be recreated. None of it can be brought back. 3 million years of adaptation, gone. The solutions exist. We know what works. Genetic mapping to identify the rare individuals carrying diverse DNA. Strategic breeding to spread those genes. Wildlife corridors to reconnect fragmented populations. Livestock guiding dogs to stop farmer killings. None of it is dramatic. None of it goes viral. None of it makes for a good Instagram post. But all of it works. 4%. That's what goes toward the genetic research that could save the species. 4% for the biggest threat they face. We spend more money photographing cheetahs than we do saving their DNA. We fell in love with the cheetah speed. We built documentaries around it. We made it the symbol of every sports car and running shoe on Earth. But we never looked past the speed. We never noticed the coalitions, the midday hunting, the female chess game, the 3 million year survival strategy hiding in plain sight. We watched the fastest animal on Earth and only saw how fast it ran. We missed everything that actually kept it alive. And now, while we're still making slow motion videos of cheetahs sprinting across the savannah, the species is quietly disappearing. Not with a dramatic last stand, not with a single catastrophic event, just a slow, silent decline that most people won't notice until it's too late. The cheetah has been adapting for 3 million years, finding every gap, surviving every threat, outlasting every predator that tried to dominate it. But it can't adapt around us. We are the one threat it never evolved for. The fastest animal on Earth is running out of time, and the only species fast enough to save it is too slow to act.